aims to reach out. AWG's aim is to reach out and heighten self-awareness of the overall feminine well-being, encompassing the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual aspects through synergized education of the complexities and intimate changes that women go through. By providing this additional knowledge, AWG is a catalyst that empowers and inspires women to love and to live the best quality of life to the fullest. Former First Lady Michelle Obama puts it quite succinctly also, there is no limit as to what we as women can accomplish. And incidentally, as I mentioned earlier, March is International Women's Month. International Women's Month is about women's equality in all its forms. For some, it is about fighting for women's rights. For others, it is about reinforcing key commitments, while for some, it is about celebrating success. And for others, it also means festive gatherings and parties. So to all you lovely roses, and also I see some pointy thorns who have joined us, today's webinar is the first for 2023, with so many more lined up for the rest of the year. And today's topic is so apropos, considering the trials and tribulations of many, but more importantly, like the proverbial phoenix, rising from the ashes and thriving and sustaining these successes in the days to come. So let's get on with this webinar by introducing you to our guide in today's journey of sustainability. Our speaker is a multifaceted individual. She is a doctor, specifically an obstetrician gynecologist, with more than 36 years experience in private practice, and believe it or not, a patient roster more than enough to fill a gymnasium. She is a doting mother, an exceptionally loving and exceptionally hot wife, a dear confidant and friend to many. Ladies and gents, before I turn over the floor, some reminders for webinar housekeeping. First and foremost, as we start, kindly ensure that your mics are on mute. Secondly, if you have questions during the presentation, kindly send your questions in the chat. In our Q&A, again, if you have questions, please send or ask them via the following methods. Send your questions through the chat, raise your hand if that functionality is available, and I will certainly take those questions, and unmute your mic to ask the question during the Q&A session. Likewise, this webinar will be available on YouTube shortly, and the URL or the link will be provided for your reference. Don't forget to subscribe and to like. So to all you roses and thorns, I'm going to zip my lips and do please welcome your journey presenter, my better half and Commander-in-Chief, Dr. Annabelle D. Herrera. Go for it, girl.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
But can you see me?
Not yet.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Sam, for that introduction. And I welcome everyone this morning, midday. And as Sam had said, we not only now for today will focus on women's health, but incidentally, I chose this topic because I feel that this is relevant to all, regardless of gender. Indeed, we have entered another thriving year, and it's been 3 years since we found ourselves strapped helplessly, finding ways to lead a new life. From the global adversity, which is the coronavirus pandemic. At the outset, I'd like to say we should all give each one a pat on the back. We all survived, and you probably didn't know it. You and I are unaware that we are equipped with the elements of today's topic of being a sustainable individual. The secret is really you. And this afternoon, allow me to unlock this hidden secret for each one of us to learn and develop these as we go through our life's journey. So let me begin. I want to show this figure to all of you. What does this remind you of? It's a spiral, a lost seashell. But the basic formation is that of a helix. The helix structure is one that results from the twisting and turning around a core or a center. And did you know that each one of us has our own helix? And unknowingly, our DNA's basic structure is a helix. Look at your fingertips. Underneath those fingertips is an underlying helix structure. Interestingly, the helix is found throughout nature. As you can see in your screen, this is a plant root. And when a plant root comes across a barrier during its growth, the root's response is to find a way to pass through the environmental challenges, and so it twists and turns into a helix, thereby conquering the former challenges and creating a masterpiece of beauty and stability. Like our life's journey, we all go through life like walking on a tightrope. Each twist and turn that we encounter in our lives have to engage us so we will maintain our life balance. The twisting and turn, the ups and downs, every single moment, every single day, all kinds of emotions that you go through, you just need to stay afloat. Whatever it takes, you just stay the course. Like in this picture, even when you know you're just about to fall and give up, you just keep on going. Therefore, each one of us continues to become a coil. Look at this picture in front of you. This is what we have become with all the challenges that we encounter in our life's journey. So why worry? Each increasing twist and turn allows this coil to recover, to recoil, and to bounce back. And as Tigger the tiger says, life is not about how fast you run or how high you climb, but how well you bounce. So the shape of the helix, the twisting and the turning, is the symbol of the bouncing back, known as resilience. To further define resilience, it is the capacity to recover, to adapt quickly from difficulties. It is the ability to recover strength, determination, spirit, flexibility. It is the ability to thrive in the face of change, mistakes, and trials. And like this corkboard, like us, hidden inside the corkboard is resilience. Did you know that resilience is the ability to withstand the life's challenges and bounce back, and is inherent in all of us? Resilience is not something that some people have or don't have. So it is important for you to understand this morning and make you aware that each one of us has this ability to bounce back. So it's time to be made aware and learn and develop these through time. In the face of adversity, many of you have gone through a traumatic or a tragic episode in your life, or are inflicted with some chronic illness, or currently in a stressful or depressive mood, or you have experienced some family relationship problems, or your kids may complain of bullying incidents, or for those who have encountered a tragic death because of the coronavirus. We have experienced some form of anger, grief, or pain, or even fear. But what happens? We are still able to function because we can withstand, adapt, and continue to grow. The ability to continue to move into the functions of our physical body, mind, emotions, indefinitely without any decline in quality is what we know as sustainability. So the two words this morning for you to understand clearly are resilience. It is a prerequisite to sustainability. And because we are inherently resilient, suffice therefore to say, we are all sustainable individuals. So it's timely to unlock these elements from each one of you. May I request all, please, to mute yourselves. Thank you. So how do you describe a sustainable individual? I want you to understand that a sustainable individual creates two things important in life. One, creates harmony, and second, it creates a web of interrelationships. A sustainable individual, therefore, must, number one, exhibit a high level of self-awareness. What does that mean? It's time to do some introspection of who we are, what our feelings are, what we are thinking, and what our behavior is like. It is the solid makeup of our individual persona. It is actually what molded us into the values, beliefs, standards that we have encountered or have developed through time that we follow. Rolled as one, our values will actually lead to who we are, what we are, and what we have become. All these are building blocks that are needed to create the harmony and the web of interrelationships to oneself, to your family, to your home, to your workplace, to your community, and to the environment. And in so doing, a sustainable individual ensures and cultivates growth of one's physical, social, emotional, psychological, and cognitive spiritual abilities, leading, and these are the elements of overall wellness. Therefore, in other words, being a sustainable individual will lead you to your overall wellness. And we all want, in the long term, to lead a meaningful and purposeful, fulfilling life. So how do we achieve this? Okay, the two words, resilience and sustainable wellness. Little did we know, or probably today you will understand, that the word resilience encompasses 5 pillars. It is the purpose of your life to achieve and to exhibit a high level of self-awareness, to engage in committed self-care practices that results in being mindful of the present moment, to endure lasting relationships is the key to our sustainability. By working to strengthen these 5 pillars, you and I will become more resilient, and as a result, we are more equipped with managing stress in our lives. It is like a child with a disability trying her best to solve a puzzle. It is like a nurse serving patients, always with a smile, always with good disposition, despite struggling with depression herself. It is a patient with advanced cancer choosing to find gratitude every single day. It is just simple people like us cleaning the house, paying bills every month, doing the laundry, going to your job, sitting on your table, sitting in front of the computer, and yet finding time to laugh with your family and friends, even in the moments when you don't feel like. So as a starting point, let's go with the first pillar. Let me ask you right now, what matters to you at this point? What exactly are the things that you stand up for and are important to you? Simply put, what is your mission and purpose in life that drives you out of your bed every morning into the social and environment space that make you move on and go on in this journey of life? How do you envision your purpose in this life? This will define the ways you will sustain and carry yourself through your life's existence. In fact, remember that for every twist and turn, every helix in your body that you encounter, even in your daily routine, your purpose may eventually change, but not for the least, but it will transcend to a higher level for new goals and new beginnings for your daily future. Did you know that finding purpose has evidence linked to longevity and long life? A study published in May 2019 by the Journal of American Medical Association stated that having a strong life purpose was associated with decreased mortality rates. The world mortality rate is 7.7 people in 1,000, and the number one cause of mortality is ischemic heart disease. Pwedeng dahil sa sama ng loob. Okay, pwede rin yun. Heart disease can also, and stresses of life can lead to your demise. So getting into an advocacy, a hobby, a corporate social responsibility, or anything that will make you start a new beginning or let you go through a new purpose that will lead to your longevity. Just to share, I have decided at the age of 60 that I will start giving back. I've been blessed with a good practice, good clinical practice. I've been blessed with new friends, patients, all good new communities to live in. And so my advocacy is really women's health. And therefore, as my husband has mentioned, I established a Herrera Wellness Group. This was because I feel that this is a new purpose of me. I cannot go and ask each woman to listen to me. But with these webinars that I will actually establish and go through these many days and many months, it is my hope that I will actually empower women to love and to live their lives to the fullest. So, what are the examples of the lives of your life's mottos that you know of? First, let us not do harm. 2, you are the author of your life. 3, let us all make it happen. 4, we all know that life is short. 5, nobody said that it was going to be easy to go through life's journey. And yet, the best way to love you better is self-care. And to move on, you have the choice and the power to ensure sustainable self-care first and foremost. So we have already laid down the two pillars of resilience. To be resilient, you need to have a meaningful purpose. Kailangan natin ng layunin. We need to acknowledge and exhibit a high level of self-awareness. Pag-uunawa sa sarili. Now it's Lenten season. It's time to fast. It's time to undergo some self-introspection and understand who we are, what we are. And next, third, we need to exhibit committed self-care. People nowadays are besieged with a lot of anxiety and depression, not only brought about by the pandemic or its after effects. It could be brought about by the economic downturn, pati yung sibuyas, nagmahal, nagiging precious stone na ang sibuyas. And we have this pending global recession. All these can lead to some form of anxiety or anything that will put a strain on your daily routine. Each one of us will feel it in some different way or in varying degrees. And when things get tough, we can choose one of two. Either you give in or you give more. You become bitter or you become better. You dive into it or you run from it. But we can always choose to meet the stressors head on and take the opportunity to help build our resilience and perhaps thrive through it all. Simply put, self-care is part of the solution. So you can, I'm sure many of you are asking, what is self-care? It is all the steps that you as an individual will take to manage stressors in your life and take care of your own health and well-being. Take note, self-care is committed action. It's an action to ensure the safety of your physical well-being and your emotional, mental, and psychological wellness. Simply put, it is anything that you want to do for yourself that will make you happy, make you joyful, and make you nourished, or will make you feel nourished and restore your balance in life. To me, let me share. My mantra for self-care is optimizing all the 5 senses that we have been blessed with: sight, touch, sound, smell, and taste. Walking down a trail of green to breathe the fresh, unpolluted air, or simply hearing the birds chirping away in the sky, or it's simply anything that will put a smile on your face. It could be just a calming, relaxing afternoon, sipping on your favorite glass of wine, or even hiking up a trail up the mountains and appreciate God's creation. Or it could just be taking an afternoon walk barefooted around the greens. And to me, It is simply expressing gratitude as I jump for joy as high as I could and watching and being thankful for the day that has passed during the sunset. The underlying rule of self-care is simply anything that will bring you sustained joy in the long run. Pagpapanatiling kagalakan ang kailangan natin para matuntunan ang ibig sabihin ng self-care. But word of caution, there are plenty of examples of self-care that seem to tread a fine line between a health-enhancing behavior and self-indulgence. What is the difference? Self-love centers around the thoughts and feelings about ourselves, whereas self-care focuses on our actions, okay? There are many corporations that create wellness products, tama? Beauty products that can give us happiness, and it's geared towards self-indulgence or even self-love. To simply put the difference, self-indulgence is unrestrained gratification of our desires and whims. Yan, gusto nyo magpa-slimming formulas, you can do that. Or you want to binge on all these cupcakes, you can do that. But it's simply a behavior that is meant only to alter our moods and provide a temporary escape from pain and grief. Remember, these companies that present all these beauty products are temporary fixes. They only provide superficial, temporary self-care fixes, and it's often frivolous. Therefore, to be resilient, you don't need that. You can create your own sustainable self-care regimen. And here's how. Number one, the real authentic self-care program requires two, hard work and discipline. And obviously, it has to start with you. It should reflect your true self-love and self-compassion that is energized and focused on the important aspects that you want to work on in your area, okay? It could be your physical, social, emotional, or spiritual wellness. Remember, it has to be authentic, okay? An example, authentic self-care activity. It's just walking up and down the stairs, or just simply walking around your community, okay? First, ask yourselves, this self-care program that you want to actually start would it be a temporary quick fix? Or do you want something that is meant to yield long-term benefits to the point that it will endure permanent self-care fix? Once you have decided what it is best to set limits so you can prioritize what is important. Okay, an example, walking up and down the stairs. For my friends out there from Makati Medical Center, just simply going down the stairs. You can start going down the stairs instead of going up the stairs. That would be your first limitation. Set the limit. To be sustainable, a self-care plan needs to be gentle enough to work. So going down the stairs or going up the stairs, whichever way you think that will give you joy, should be gentle. You shouldn't end up with a bum knee or a bum hip. Akyat ka ng baba, akyat ka ng baba, akyat baba, akyat baba. That is not the way to create a self-care program. It has to be incremental, increasing the number of steps wisely, or whatever suits your physical stamina. And it should compose a lot of other things. So limit, gentle, and incremental. Once you have decided what self-care program you want to practice and incorporate in your life, it has to come up with the goals for how often and when. So to understand, it has to be smart. It has to be specific, realistic, specific. Okay, I mentioned about walking. Okay, recently, the section of the cardiology section of the Makati Medical Center came up with their program, wanting, and they monitored actually the number of steps and invited those doctors, employees, even those in training, and to actually give their number of steps. I was surprised. There's a doctor who was walking 21,000 steps a day on an average. Isn't that fantastic? It's specific, it's realistic, but to me, is it measurable? Yes. How often and when you can do it? Is it attainable? Yes. You can build up to practice that behavior. But for starters, like many of us out there, we can't keep 21,000 as our goal. Maybe let's start off with 1,000, 2,000, and then incrementally increasing to 5,000, 8,000. Just making sure that you engage your self-care program into your SMART goals. Specific, measurable, it is attainable, and it is relevant. Why do I say it's relevant? It has to give you happiness. It has to energize you. It has to nourish you. You just can't do pole dancing. I don't think that's relevant. Okay, that's probably a whim. Okay, and the last, you need to learn to find a balance and a formula that will work for you. And therefore, it has to be time bound, time sensitive. You need to create a designated time until you're able to build up the habit. Secondly, your self-care program has to create a work-life balance. Okay? Life, you can see, family, career, work, balance. And you have to ensure that these programs will bring you joy. Remember, unsustained joy. It should get you energized and in the long run, restore your balance in life. In a way, you need to identify the nuisances in your life so that you need to stop doing this and maybe avoid the vexations that are vexations and stressors in your life. So let's identify the nuisances in your life. It is iatrogenic to some. It not only disrupts your balance, but affects your total well-being. Everyone is guilty of this. We bring home work. Remember, it will disrupt your balance at your work, your home. Remember, your home is your place of refuge and serenity. So why disrupt the peace? Look at this gentleman here. Nasa bahay na, nagsisigarilyo na, nagtatrabaho pa. He's at home. So the work rules are, you leave on time. If you are in an 8 to 5 job, do your work from 8 to 5, leave exactly 5, and don't take your work home. That's everyone's guilt problems. And for those engaged in the health services, huwag niyo nang dadalhin yung stress ng pasyente sa bahay, di ba? Iwanan niyo na yan. When you go home, talk, hug your husband, hug your kids. You have other things to do. Like, you can identify the other nuisances. Number 1, nako, I'm also guilty of this. The toxic boss syndrome. Madami tayo niyan. Okay, next. For those who leave their homes early in the morning, it's a messed up kitchen. These are the nuances that we have to avoid and probably deal with so that we can start our self-care program. What about those with growing teenagers? Okay, we experience a lot of this when our kids, those of in their teenage or even in their young adulthood, especially those who still live with their parents, we're also these also present as nuisances. And mothers or parents who may be insensitive, these are also part of the vexations brought about by our inability to thrive. And, madami to, mother-in-law syndrome. I'm sure you or some way or another experiences, not only mother-in-law, partners, or even co-workers. Another nuisance in our life, but is a key lifeline in our daily life, is communication. A behavior that we should all actually engage in is shifting our cell phone on silent for a few minutes, maybe dinner time, to be able to be at the moment and give ourselves me time. Another is binging, okay, maybe not the right word, but setting a discipline, designated time to help us browse through our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or even watching a Netflix series. Remember, addiction is not self-care. Yung addiction, addict ka na wala ka nang gagawin kung hindi mag-Facebook page. Uy, ang nangyayari, some of us become marites. Nagiging chismosa, titingnan mo na kung, ano nang ginagawa nito. Pati sa Instagram. And then those who are addicted with Netflix series, let's make sure that we have a specific time. Okay? Addiction will cause your demise. Remember, you need to set limits. Limits has to be gentle, okay? Has to be incremental. Okay. So, now that you have identified the nuisances, have you identified the nuisances in your life? Let's now focus on yourself. What actually brings you joy? Again, let us optimize our senses. Sense of smell, okay? If, let's say, you enjoy music, ako, my husband knows this. When I get stressed, I turn on my YouTube and I turn it on to the Letterman. To those my age, I love the Letterman. And maybe to the others, you can open up your music in the 70s or 80s, or to the younger generation, or maybe those who are involved with the K-pop, the Butter and Permission to Dance by our K-pop Korean stars, or maybe simplifying or engaging, optimizing your sense of smell. Let us simply enjoy the fragrant candles of chamomile, eucalyptus, and lavender. All these are medicated candles. They are medicinal. In addition, we have coffee lovers, okay? A new taste and aroma from a new coffee shop may probably make your day. And for the others, yes, you can actually engage yourself and go to a spa. You may think that this is not, you may think it's self-indulgent, but remember, it will help de-stress and carve out time for yourself. It counts still as self-care. And probably go to the salon, or for my husband and I, just a walk in the greens and enjoy the greeneries, the fresh air, and the laughter that we enjoy every time we play a round of golf. One of the self-care practices that required a lot of discipline for all us, for all the health workers during the pandemic, was to adapt and adjust to wearing our level 4 protective gears. These are your personal protective equipments. And as you can see in this picture, where I was wearing a level 4 PPE with a powered air purifying respirator during the COVID area in the COVID zone. Yes, it is extremely warm, extremely hot, seemed exciting, but at the end of my procedure, I was drenched with perspiration from head to toe, literally. Then if you would come out from your complete procedure, here I am. I love to wear everything matching, from face shield to my scrubs, to my face mask, to my respirator, and even my goggles. So I'm just sharing a self-care practice that we engaged in and required a lot of hard work and discipline. But yes, we survived. And now that we have relaxed protocols, let me share with you what energizes me every morning. And that is my color-coded scrub suits with matching headgear and rubber shoes. This gives me the much needed energy that keeps me focused during my day at work. So at the end of the day, when I want to take a breather, walking outside without my cell phone, I just go ahead and enjoy Mother Nature. So remember, your self-care regimen should be anything that floats your boat. Okay? Now, I'm sure you're asking, ano ba yung mga self-care practices, Doktora? Okay, let me tell you that there are self-care practices that are linked to longevity, and in so doing will lead to our overall wellness. So for the physical environmental wellness, the first is to be physically healthy. You need to eat, but at the same time, you need to move. So you need to exercise. People who exercise between 2 and 8 hours a week throughout their lives reduced their risk of dying by 36%. And this is according to the March 2019 study published in the JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association. That is walking, okay, even on the treadmill or even outside, walking up, down the stairs, dancing. We have a community here where I live in. They have the Zumba ladies gang, and they do this 3 times a week. And they have been enjoying this, and soon I'll be joining them. Apart from this, even walking your dog, biking, swimming are some acceptable exercise routine that you can stick with. Remember, at least 30 minutes 4 times a week is part and parcel of your self-care practice. Remember, simply walking. I have a good neighbor here, husband and wife. You see them walking either in the morning or in the afternoon. And they have incorporated this in their life routinely. Walking will increase your bone strength, muscle tone, your cardiovascular system, and flexibility. And just remember, it will increase with just 30 minutes a day. Wellness and sustainability is also made when we focus on our diet. According to a July 2014 study, eating a diet filled with just 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day was associated with a lower risk of mortality, especially from heart-related issues. This would include cooking nutritious ingredients. Let me share that each serving should be as big as your palm. Hindi kamay ha, palm. 4 to 5 servings, you can mix it, combine it. Fruits and vegetables, or purely fruits or purely vegetables, but at the most 4 to 5 servings a day. Now, the intermittent fasting craze that everyone goes gaga about is currently so popular. But little did we know, it's been there. This intermittent fasting has been there ever since we were born. We have just abused ourselves because of our ignorance and because we have become suckers. Come on, let's face it. All these diet plans, all these spending or expenses that you incur just to engage in those diet calorie packed meals, come on. Let us now realize that the best way to go is to follow this practice and adapt to it. Look at this picture in front of you. 1, you do not skip meals. You need to contain and still maintain your 3 meals a day. Eat breakfast like a king. Eat moderately like a prince during lunch, and hardly like a pauper at night. So you eat breakfast heartily with gusto, eat like a queen, and breakfast like with gusto, like a princess, heartily, lunchtime, and maybe as an old woman, hardly at night. Understanding that the latest study now shows it is the size of meals that is linked to weight loss and not to the timing. Okay, remember that. Pag kumain na kayo ng madami ng breakfast at 7 or 8 in the morning, your lunch should be about 1 to 2, and then your dinner time is about 7. Tulog na kayo by 9, 10 o'clock. And you've actually fasted. That is the intermittent fasting that has been in this craze currently. But that doesn't work. Intermittent fasting that people know of, you skip meals. And when you skip meals, what happens when you start eating, those hungry cells in your body that you flattened during the time that you fasted, bigla kayong kakain, you start binging, those fat cells will start growing. And you will not be able to make those come flat again. Kasi nabusog na eh. But if you maintain a designated time pattern and meal pattern, that is where you will maintain and sustain a good wellness program. Next, sleep. This is the 3rd self-care practice linked to longevity. A study published in 2017, again in the Journal of the American Heart Association, found that too little sleep, that's less than 6 hours per night, was linked with higher mortality rates. Although too much sleep wasn't healthy either. It is because your circadian rhythm, one that monitors your sleep-wake cycle in your body, changes when you start growing old. Talaga naman pag tumatanda, umiiksi. Okay? But still, the goal is what's acceptable is 5 to 6 hours. So, examples of sleeping disorders. Find out where you belong. Are you an insomniac? You have the inability to sleep at night. As a consequence, you're fatigued in the morning. You're unable to concentrate. Masungit, grumpy, kasi hindi nakatulog eh. Second, are you sleep deprived? This is basically because of a poor lifestyle practice, probably from stress, it's work-related, or maybe some form of medications that you take, or drug or alcohol abuse, or an underlying illness. So let me share with you how to probably prepare a good night's rest. Research shows that elements of a good night's sleep start long before you go to bed. O yan. So alam nyo na, you want to sleep, tama, but you have to prepare long before, pwede sa umaga. For a refreshing rest, try to adapt some of these healthy sleep habits during the day. Number 1, you need to stick to a sleep schedule. Pumili kayo ng oras, pick a bedtime, and a wake-up time every day. This reinforces the circadian rhythm of your body to promote beauty and healthy sleep-wake cycle. Understand that your body goes through different sleep stages. It moves from light sleep to deep sleep into REM, known as rapid eye movement. Did you know that an average sleep cycle lasts about 90 minutes? And ideally, you need 4 to 6 cycles of this sleep cycle every 24 hours to feel fresh and rested. So the sleep cycle contains light sleep, deep sleep, non-rapid eye movement, and an REM. Scientists agree that sleep to be essential to health. Okay, you must undergo, or you will undergo these stages, 3 to 4 to 6 cycles at night. And the most essential of all the stages is the deep sleep. Okay, because when you wake up in the morning, you feel rested and staying healthy and stay healthy. 2, write down your worries in the morning. Put it down on a piece of paper. What worries you? Yung bill, kulang ang pera, pagbayad ng kuryente, or itong anak ko, sinasagot ako, or pangatlo, hindi ako hinalikan ng asawa ko this morning. Write it down. Don't bring that stress to bed. Research shows writing down your worries early in the day can help you fall asleep at bedtime. 3, avoid stimulants or mind-altering substances like alcohol, caffeine, or even nicotine. That's smoking. Remember, caffeine, alcohol should not be consumed 4 to 6 hours before bedtime. Limit alcohol as much as possible. Drinking in excess has been linked to poor sleep. So as your body goes through these different sleep stages, it will move on and move on until you're able to get a good night's rest. 4, exercise. Moderate exercise in the morning of 30 minutes or even sunshine during the day will make sleep at night more relaxing, and exercising and walking will give you a serotonin boost. Now, I want to tell you the elements of a sound sleep. Everyone, I think most of us are guilty of this. Don't go to bed when you're not tired. Huwag kayong magpipilit matulog. Sasabihin nyo, ay matutulog na ako ng maaga. I will be able to sleep so that I'll get 5 to 6 hours of sleep. No. Yes, early night might sound nice, but don't force your sleep heading to bed before you are tired, because it will lead to sleep anxiety and may even lead to insomnia. So, 1, we must create a winding down routine. Remember that hyperactivity or a busy mind is the main reason why people are insomniac. They can't sleep. So you need time to switch off before bed. What are examples? You read the book. Others can do their facial regimens. Some will just go up and down their stairs. Some will hug a pillow. Fathers can probably talk to their wives, or there are people who can just probably watch one series of the Netflix, Or you can actually enjoy a time with your apo or even your children, or just simply clearing off your mind. That is winding down. Okay. Second, block off all noise and light. Remembering that a quiet and dark room is essential for good night's sleep. Remember, you want the quality and the quantity of sleep. Just a reminder, the light and dark creates or helps your circadian rhythm, which is responsible for your sleep and wake pattern. During the morning, that's your light rhythm. It helps you, the bright light in the morning helps you wake up. But at night, it has to be dark because it keeps your circadian rhythm now into the sleep rhythm. So it is important to wear, probably if you want, wear a sleep mask or just close your eyes and put a pillow on your forehead. Okay? So remember, block off all night noise and sleep. Third, okay, this is what I want to encounter. This is what I want to share with all of you. Let's all prepare a happy bed. Let's create a healthy sleep environment. Make sure that your bed is comfortable. Okay, you can actually have crisp, white bed sheets or soft, cuddly pillows or a strong or maybe firm mattress. Remembering that you need to leave your work at your desk, hindi kasama ng katre nyo yung mga papeles nyo or your computer, and you leave your meals in the kitchen. You don't have a glass of water or a croissant or tinapay or skyflakes or anything in your bed. Remember to keep your bed sacred. Your brain should only associate bed with sleep and intimate activities. At the same time, you need to cool down the temperature at night. Keep the temperature cool. Your body temperature naturally drops down. Eventually, particularly at the time you are engaged already in your night sleep cycle, as this is part of your circadian rhythm. Now, if your bedroom is too cold, just get an additional blanket. Next, unplug all phone and electronic devices. Remember, all these have the blue light. Tingnan nyo yung computer or your cell phone nyo tonight. Look at it. You will see the blue light. It actually delays the release of your sleep-inducing melatonin. And so it will increase alertness. And what? It sets back your internal sleep clock. So turn it off. Decrease your screen time. Your screen emits a lot of blue light and it will tell your brain to be awake, and it's not helpful. Keep a routine sleep and wake schedule. If you want to sleep at 9 o'clock, and then you wake up at 3, 4, then let it be. As long as you're able to keep, remember, 6 to 7 hours are acceptable. Okay? More than 10 is also not healthy. Less than 5 is really not going to be very healthy for you. Use a red light if needed, allowing sleep-inducing melatonin to take over. You can have a red night light in your room. Just remembering, clear your mind, and you can do this with relaxation techniques. Okay? So after you have a good night's rest, this is the rule. The rule is to have you dance a little bit in the morning before you leave your house, because it changes the way you walk out in the world. Isn't it true? Pag masarap ang tulog, you can skip, hippity hop, hop, you can dance, to the rhythm, and you can walk out in the world, because getting outside connects you to the world around you. Getting outside, finding time outdoor is the fourth self-care practice that is linked again to longevity. In the 2019 study published in Lancet, spending time in the green space is associated with lower mortality rate. It is socializing, and at the same time, a relational practice for each one of us. We can start off when we go out, breathe deeply, taking time to appreciate the nature that surrounds us. You can actually ask your friend to join you. Maski na umakyat, bumaba kayo ng hagdanan, it's fine. Just finding outdoor time to even look at your garden. Or if you're a plantita, just enjoy the greens. All this, getting outside, will provide you not only your physical, but your environmental wellness. Next, the two most common categories of self-care are emotional and social self-care, both of which not only promote health and happiness, but promote positive health outcomes and are linked with longevity, increased productivity, a high self-esteem, and improved immune system. Your emotional and social wellness involve how you interact with other people and how you view yourself. Relationship is a key, crucial to building resilience. Remembering that, what did I say? A sustainable individual creates harmony and a web of relationships. A resilient relationship is one that has overcome and learned from obstacles, adversity, setbacks, but we emerge stronger than what we were before. But a truly resilient relationship is celebrated with love, patience, and gratitude. And in keeping with positivity, I think everybody should actively practice forgiveness and letting go of anger. Focusing on others every single day by actively connecting with at least one person, just listening carefully, or just considerably encourage or be compassionate, or sharing interest, is keeping positive and will bring us more healthy and long-lasting relationships. How does one build? This is the most important relationship that we should actually prioritize. How does one build a resilient relationship at home and family? One, you have to be committed that you make your relationship, family and home, a priority. You keep your family secure and safe. Two, appreciation. Let others know. Let your family members know daily, every single moment, how they are appreciated, because these actually reinforces love and trust. Third, communication. Communication is the lifeline of the home and family. Talk to each other about small issues, big issues. It doesn't matter. You're just talking to each other and being with each other. Next, building resilience in family-home relationship is building time together. That is deliberate, maybe about planning activities. Understanding that a positive family relationship is built on quality time, communication, teamwork, and appreciation of each other. What about a resilient relationship in the workplace? How does one build this? One of the most painful experience, I guess, of an employee in a workplace is feeling unappreciated. Without recognition, impacts one's productivity and well-being. And I guess mostly this was experienced during the pandemic when employees were sequestered at home and they just had to juggle their work, compete, work, life pressures at home with no appraisal or positive appraisals. Remembering that gratitude is the untapped resource that has the greatest potential to propel employees to reach their full potential. So creating a work gratitude culture is highly motivational. Work gratitude is an intentional choice, engaging positive appraisals and feelings of thankfulness and appreciation towards whatever situation that actually comes in. Remember that these employees, or even ourselves, we cope better with stressful demands and pressures when we are highly appreciated. Positive reframing is important. Positive reframing is seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. Okay? Social appreciation. I guess we know that. And interestingly, we also engage in wellness programs at work. We can focus on bringing and indulging in healthier foods that can help each other lower heart disease, whatever, diabetes or any illness, or even ease out cancer or illnesses. Occupational wellness or financial wellness. Finding work that gives you personal satisfaction and purpose will increase your wellness in many areas of your life. If, however, your current job does not supply this particular need at the moment, then find it elsewhere. Volunteer in a hobby or volunteer in a cause. Contribute your abilities to something that you will support. Be productive by building and creating something that will interest you and will help others. But remembering that you need to set realistic goals. You have to live within your means. You can encourage someone to share your passion. You can actually find ways to be generous by sharing your abilities, or you can actually review whatever current situation you're in and probably take in the steps for new goals, new beginnings. Now, let's go to the last, spiritual wellness. This is the last type of self-care, not necessarily associated with longevity, but something that is enduring and will yield more permanent effects on our total well-being, because spiritual wellness will make us better equipped in managing stress, foster and building resilience, encompassing 3 behavioral attitudes: gratefulness, mindfulness, and kindness. Spiritual self-care, sustainable wellness focuses on me time. That is, creating a sacred alone time in nature. Finding time for ourselves. Finding time to understand our newfound freedom. Creating positive vibes so it will renew us, restore us, and rejuvenate us. Spiritual self-care is focused on the joy and contentment by practicing gratitude every day, creating a gratitude journal. You don't have to write it down. You can just express it, and it will just, it will immerse and be part of your system. Although you may be right now in a difficult part of your life, you may probably list downs that make you feel grateful so that you will be made more aware of it, understanding that counting your blessings and naming them one by one will make you feel spiritually well. The second of the spiritual self-care practice is mindfulness. You're probably wondering, anong kaibahan nun sa self-awareness? Okay. Mindfulness is a human ability where you maintain, tandaan nyo, moment by moment awareness of the thoughts, your feelings, the body sensation, and your surrounding environment. It is being fully present at the moment. It is being aware of where you are right now. Nasaan na ba kayo? What are you doing now? You're listening to me. It is not overly reactive or you're not overwhelmed by what's going on around us. You are paying attention without judgment. It's simple, but it's not easy. Remember, mindfulness is one of the pillars of resilience, and it must be learned and developed. Is your mind full, or are you mindful right now? I'm sure most of you, or most of us, don't pay attention to what we're experiencing in the present moment. I will not feel slighted because we need to learn to be mindful. And maybe this would be the first moment for you to understand that a Harvard study found that 47% of people are thinking about something else other than what they're actually doing right now. Right now, you're listening to me, but I'm sure some of you, your mind is wandering. Why? Because when you're not focused on the present, your minds often wander to other scenarios, for example, about the future or the past. If you think about the future and what could go wrong, you create anxiety. If you think about the past and what should have been, you create sadness. So focusing on the present, what you are doing or experiencing at the moment is being mindful. And this will create a calmer nervous system, an improved perspective, hopefully, and a greater sense of well-being. I just want to share this practice. How do you become mindful? You can breathe in and out, close your eyes, breathe in and out, feel the flow of your breath. Pay attention to all your senses. For example, wow, what do you smell? What can you hear? Okay, you can feel the texture of your tongue. Empty your mind at the moment. Be still. As soon as your mind wanders, bring it back to your breath. Just focus on your breath. And practice non-judgmental listening. Okay. Now, being mindful, if you go outdoors, walk around nature, be aware of your daily activity, driving. Remember, when you're driving, no texting, okay? And being mindful is forgiving yourself for every negative thought that crosses your mind. Be grateful. Say thank you to nature, to the people who matter the most to you. And the last, go easy on yourself with your time, and soon you will see some progress. The benefits of being mindful, it reduces less stress because you are more focused. You gain insight and awareness. You observe your own mind. You suspend judgment, and therefore you become more curious, more compassion about other people. There is more warmth and kindness that you develop not only to yourself, but to others. The third and the last spiritual self-care practice is kindness. Read the quote by Mahatma Gandhi. The simplest acts of kindness are by far more powerful than 1,000 heads bowing in prayer. When we choose to be kind, it really takes a considerable willpower to do so. But understanding, kindness is medicinal. It reduces physical illness It reduces fear, losses, insecurities. It is part of your problem solving and your coping mechanism. Commit to being kind to others and to yourself. And remembering, what does it take to be kind? A warm smile is a universal language of kindness. Incorporate this every day. When you see your coworker, when you see your husband in the morning, your kasambahay in the morning, your children, your driver, anybody, your CEO, your boss, a warm smile will make your day. So in summary, the big words today are resilience. Resilience is key to personal sustainability, resulting in one's overall wellness. The elements to achieve this overall wellness must exhibit a high level of self-awareness, our thoughts, feelings, behavior of who we are, what we are, our values, our beliefs. Being mindful of the present moment that helps us define our purpose of life in life. Understanding that for every twist and turn like the helix, every challenge, your purpose will eventually change and transcend to a higher level to achieve new goals and new beginnings. And with the power and choice to engage in committed self-care practices that are linked to longevity, exercise, diet, sleep, getting outside, enjoying your environment. And as a sustainable individual, you create harmony and a web of enduring, lasting relationships. So what is the secret then? The COVID-19 response was resilience that each and every one of us is equipped with. Resilience made you and I resourceful. It uplifted our emotions. It allowed each of us to reappraise our challenging situation. It became a time for us to find a mission that is meaningful to all. In other words, it became a practice for us to build and to bounce and become individuals. I didn't need to tell you this. I was only an instrument because you are all resilient. I only needed to tell you these are the elements and you are the secret. And so as an ender, I'd like to share with you my life sustainer. And these are the letters A, G, and E. This forms part of the resilience built through the many challenges that you and I will face. Yes, we are all aging, but it's only a number. But the letters A, G, E will always matter to each of us. A, most of us love to control, but so much of life is out of our control. You have a choice. Either you get rattled by the uncertainty that is brought by any challenge or embrace the reality of uncertainty. We will all pass through challenges in different ways, different degrees, different times in our life. But it is important to embrace the now uncertainty because it will always prepare us for the unknown. Simply saying, we want happiness and it can only exist when we accept. There is so much freedom to let go. G is let go because there is a need for us. When we let go, we discover new beginnings, new opportunities, new realizations. G stands for gratitude. Every day in our lives, say thank you. It will change the outlook of our life. It is our ability to thrive under pressure. Gratitude and acceptance, A and G, are strong and consistently associated with greater happiness and translates to positive emotions that will lead to restoration and rejuvenation. And E, when we have repurposed our lives, It will set the pace of the many experiences that we have gone through. He who has a why to live for can bear almost anyhow. Your sense of purpose, the very purpose of life, is to experience life to its fullest depth and dimension. Recognizing our purpose helps to focus our energy, keeps us engaged and committed, and makes it easier for us to be hopeful, fills us up with courage, and bolsters our resilience. This is simply a way of life. So, to recap, whatever stage you are in your life, accept it. There's no turning back. You may not change the beginning, but you can certainly try to start where you are now and change the ending. We just need to trust the magic of new beginnings. We are now ready to face any challenge because now you are ready and you are learning. All you need is to understand this. So why worry? And understand that the secret of sustainability is you. But remembering that the greatest source of our life sustainer is no other but our Creator, because it is only He who knows our old age and gray hairs when we start growing old. It is He who will sustain us, and it was He who will continue to carry us through. So thank you very much, everyone, for listening. I hope you have learned a lot. And again, thank you for this opportunity to share.
Thank you, Nabi. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in a Q&A section. You can unmute your mics as well as putting stuff in the chat if you do have any questions. Please feel free to raise your hands or, like I said, just start talking. We will be, while we wait for people to essentially come up with those questions, we will be announcing in a couple of weeks the next series of webinars designed for all you wonderful women. And we look forward to having everyone join us again for another inspiring message and journey with Nabi Ira. And with that, we will be sharing the recording, which I believe will be sent via a link, and we will share that accordingly with everyone. Thank you again, ladies and this fine gentleman that I see in front of me. Thank you. And you all have a great afternoon ahead of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.